All right, hi, fifth graders. In this video, I'm going to explain some important terms for you to be successful in building your own habitat or ecosystem, your own balanced ecosystem today. So we're going to be looking at how ecosystems are a bunch of different spheres, right? So we've been talking about hydrosphere and biosphere and the atmosphere and what did I forget? The geosphere and some thermal energy thrown in there. So all of our systems that we see in the world where people and things live is an interaction between a bunch of them. And so we're going to be creating our own and trying to pay attention and thinking about what systems are in play and trying to have a good old time. So these are some important information for you to know and some instructions on how to be successful today. So the first question is, what are food webs? Like, do you know anything about food webs? So take a moment, write some stuff down, type it up, whatever you want to do. What do you know is a food web? And I'm going to go on in 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. All right, so food webs basically show an area of the world and how plants and animals interact with each other. And so food webs are made up of plants. Animals eat those plants, and then animals eat those animals, and maybe animals that eat those other animals. And sometimes animals eat the plants and the animals. So it's the interaction between the plants and the animals. Some things that you need to be aware of and some terms that we need so that you can build the best ecosystem possible is there are things called producers, okay, producers. So plants are producers. The reason they're producers is they produce their own food. So they use thermal energy from the sun to create their own food. And they also become something called carbohydrate. Okay, and the carbohydrate is important because that's what we animals eat in order to have energy. And so we have producers, so they produce their own food, which are plants. And then we have things called consumers, which eat those plants. Consumers cannot produce their own food. Plants produce their own food. That's why they're called producers. We cannot produce our own food. We have to eat other food. And so we are called consumers. And so in that picture there that I made, the rabbit consumes the plant and then the eagle consumes the rabbit. And we call those two different animals two different things. We call the eagle a predator because it consumes the rabbit, and then we call the rabbit prey because it gets consumed by the predator. Now, sometimes things can be predator and prey. There is such thing as called apex predators, so that means nothing eats them. I think like lions would be an example, tigers. I don't think anything really eats those. And so there's different ideas like that. And so what you're going to do now is a couple things. You need to go back to your assignment, and there is a Google drawing there. And on that Google drawing, you are going to create your own food web. So think about where you live. Either down in Medellin or out in a finca somewhere. You could think about the school. So whatever environment you want to think about, I want you to think about what animals are there, what is producing, what plants are there, what are the producers, and what are the consumers, and create your own mini food web. Some tips on making the food web using Google Drawings here is if you click on Insert and then an image, search the web. If you write transparent background in it, so I can look for anything that I want and then add the words transparent background. What's cool is, here, let me do plant transparent background. So now I have this plant, and if everything works out, where is it? There it is, and it's transparent, so it doesn't, I can just kind of add it anywhere. So again, those words transparent background, it makes it, it looks better, because if you have all these different backgrounds, then it kind of looks weird. So transparent background is a key feature. After you finish your food web, there's a game for you to play called Make a Mangrove. And so you are going to try and build a mangrove that survives for 12 days. So there's some specific instructions. You can only add 5 items a day. And remember all the things we just talked about. Remember your predators, your prey, your consumers, your producers, and make sure you try and keep things balanced. What are you going to need more of? What are you going to need less of? things like that. And then after you play the game, there will be a Google form for you to fill out with some questions about what you've learned while playing the game and doing this activity today. All right. Have a good one. Bye.